go live.
Okay, now do I mute on the Zoom side?
No, if you're watching the YouTube channel itself, you mute it on the YouTube channel.
Okay. Okay. I mute it on the YouTube channel. I clicked it. Okay, hold on.
Oh, that's all right. There ain't nobody here. We're live, but there ain't nobody here. We're just messing around with you right now. Oh.
Okay, so I mute the YouTube side.
Yep. Because you're in the live stream, you don't want to have the volume on my channel going.
Okay.
That'll allow you to see the chat when people come in. Of course, I never advertise it. I just wait a few minutes and then people start coming in.
Right.
Okay. And once I see a couple, 3 people come in here, we'll go ahead and start talking about the topic. We got one buddy and we got somebody in here right now.
Okay.
Okay. So anyhow, I guess we got one person here. Who's that? Well, you know me, I'm Bill. Oh, by the way, that's Jana. Say hello, Jana.
Yeah, and I can't figure out how to make my video work. We're both just stuck on my end.
Oh, no, you're moving on my end.
Yeah. There you are, barely.
Oh, okay. Well, you could just look at us at the YouTube channel if you want. We're going to lag behind just probably about 30 seconds or so.
Right. Then that's probably my end because I have.
No, that's actually how it works when you're doing a live stream.
Oh.
Okay.
Look,
the feed always lags by like 30 seconds. So, anyhow, you see the name that I gave to the topic tonight. That's right. Pussy power versus penis power. Oh, man, what a crazy topic, huh? Not really. Actually, it's not a crazy topic with people's mindsets today. I'm not going to give no names to nobody, okay, because this is not about slamming people, okay? This is about the factual truth. And unfortunately, in today's society, we have a whole lot of men who are being controlled by a body part. Yeah, a body part. Okay, that's why I gave it the name I gave it, okay? And I look at it for what it really is. When guys are being controlled by this, and this is the Almighty God to them, it's so important. And you will do anything the woman says, and you won't buck her whatsoever because she has that spot the baby's born that you want to get into. Okay, what you did was create your own demise. Because I listen to guys constantly talking all mad, all angry at how women are treating them in our society. And when I look at the way they're being treated by women, very toxic, narcissist, self-entitled, okay, women, well, guys, I want you to go look in the mirror. You're the one that gave her that power. Because when you have to put that part of her body, and she knows you're doing this, then what you do is you hand over all of your dignity, all of your respect, all of your everything over to her. And she knows she can control you through that. And she does. Not all women, of course, but we have a high majority of women who like to say, yes, I'm the woman and I understand that my pussy is power. And he will do as I say. And then we have the other thing that goes with it. Women are chasing baby dolls. In other words, chads. But these ain't the guys we want for a relationship. These are the guys that we just want to have sex with. The guys we pick out for a relationship, well, they're utility. And we want these guys to be the simp, the nice guy, the vagina, the guy. We don't want dominant men. Now, believe me, this is coming from women's mouths. They do not want dominant men because dominant men won't obey. So my answer was, so you're looking for a slave? An immediate, yes, that's what we're looking for. So I want to have you guys hear both sides of the story from a female. What do you think about men who do this, Jana?
The men that say that the vagina is powerful.
Yes, address both genders, okay?
I will. Okay. I don't. I personally don't agree with that. I on my own end, and I'm sure there are other women out there that don't play that game. I know there are toxic women that do, and they need to be shut down. Um, Now, on the other end of it, and it's not men bashing, it's the truth. I dated a guy that when he was upset with me, he shut me down. So it does go both ways. Penis power, and well, I won't say the other word because I don't like the other word, so I'll say vagina power. It's 50-50. It really is. And it would be nice if these really wonderful guys in the room would understand that. It's not just the women. It is men
It's
too.
not. There are men that do it, and I'm gonna, you're gonna say no, there ain't. Yeah, there is.
Uh-huh.
My brothers cut a woman off and didn't give her sex. I've cut a woman off and didn't give her sex, and I've known quite a few guys in my life that have. The reality is this: the body part, the vagina. If you're going to say that's power, here's what you hear from guys all the time. Well, if I cut her off, then she'll leave me. Well, by golly, you know what I say to that? Then here's the door. Please let it hit you in the ass on the way out, because
Right.
obviously you didn't love me. See, love don't come from sex. Never has and never will. The problem is we got everything upside down, everything twisted. And men are giving these women this power, and then the women know they willed the power over you. And then what happens? Well, hello, Dave. I see you're here.
Hi, Dave. And the other Jeff. I said hi to
Yeah,
one Jeff. There's another Jeff in here.
Jeff Ashton. Yes. And then there's another Jeff. Yep.
The
But
media
anyhow,
guy. Oh, go
yes,
ahead. Where he says there's no penis power.
there
Oh,
is no such thing as penis power. There's no
no.
such thing as vagina power. I'm sorry. When you fall into this and believe this, and unfortunately, we have a lot of very sick people in this world, and there is a high number of women who recognize how weak you men have become, and they're loving it
Right.
because you gave them that power. And then you turn around and complain about the way you're treated.
Exactly. One sec.
You know, I'm going to tell you something. Years ago, my ex used that very thing against me. She cut me off for a week. When the week was over, we didn't have sex for 2 months. Well, why would that be? Well, because there's nobody, but nobody, I don't care who the woman is, that's going to use her private part or use sex as a weapon to control me. Not going to happen.
Right.
You don't understand. She don't belong controlling you, and you don't belong controlling her. And
Exactly.
these women who want to consider guys utilities, okay, you're a simp, you're a utility. Okay, that's usury. And the guy who dumps a woman because she won't take her clothes off on the first or second date, that's usury. So what we have is a world filled full of nut jobs that don't know what they're doing. I hate to be that way, but I've been telling people for years you don't know what you're doing. So why did I come up here with Jana tonight? Well, you got to hear one live stream, and everybody went ballistic because Jane, I brought a woman on my Saturday Night Live show. Okay, and all these names were hurled because they were angry. Okay, I'm trying to get you to understand that men and women alike are human beings, and we have just as many men being dirty to women as you do women being dirty to men.
Right.
Now, Tia Fellers don't notice that, and I'm sorry because Tia Fellers have never had a chance to ever have a woman in their life. So they wouldn't know anything about this stuff. So the only education they can get is from the public. Now, Dave's in here, and when we were talking about dating limbo and women going their own way, Dave can clearly tell you it's happening. It's real. I mean, I actually appreciate Dave being back in here. It's been a while since I saw him. It's not Saturday night, that's correct. I'm up here on an off night, caught everybody off guard. But I'm trying to
Right.
get people to understand the real truth. And I don't want you just hearing it from me. I want you to hear it from a woman. So that's why Jane is in here with me tonight. So how do you feel about women who do this and guys who do this? Does it disgust you?
Oh, very much so. Women that do that, really, I'm not a woman hater and I'm not a man hater. I just don't appreciate and approve of the toxic ones on both, from both genders. These women that pull this crap and the men that pull the same crap, you know, if you ask me, that's going to get them nowhere in life other than some major STDs and, well, your channel, TFL. That's what it's going to end up as. Or, you know, fatherless children, fatherless mothers. It just depends on the situation.
It
It's
does.
disgusting. It's disgusting.
Well, this is one of the reasons TFL is so big. So many men are going through it
Mm-hmm.
because these women are being that picky because it's about sex. And what's disgusting here is Steve Hulk talked about when he goes into the bar and he sees a group of women at the back of the bar segregated, and that's where all the women are at. They're segregated. And if a guy approaches them, they don't want anything to do with you. And then the
Right.
woman will say, "Well, because all the guys think about is sex. All they want is in my pants." Okay? But at the same time, if that woman's to recognize her private part as power over the guy, then what is she, a complete bigot? A complete hypocrite? How could you complain about a guy wanting in your pants right away, but you're going to use what's in your pants as a weapon?
Well, exactly. Exactly. You know, I agree with that. I'm just going to say a little more on just that point. Girls go to the bar, the toxic ones, they go to the bar and hope that, oh, yeah, we'll just use, John Doe as the name. Oh, he's cute. He's hot. I'm going to get him for one night, so she does whatever. Or John Doe sees Jane Doe and same thing happens. And it's like, that's not what it should be about. But there's no woman over man power or man over woman. It should be 50-50. And I'm not talking that they decide consensually to go have sex that night, the night they meet. That's not what I'm talking about. It I don't understand where this even came from. I really don't. Um, it just saddens me because I'm the woman, and yes, and your followers, um, they do believe that the vagina does have power, and it's really sad to finally know that they really feel that way, and it breaks my heart for them. It really does.
Well, the reality, Jane, is there's actually millions of men that feel this way, and they feel this way because of the fact that there's literally also millions of women who are using this as a weapon because they've been allowed to, because
Well,
the
true.
men are allowing it.
Yeah. And they need to, God, I don't know how to say this without sounding man bashing, because that's not my intention whatsoever. But you know how they say man up, you know, these men, if let's say it was me pulling this shit, I would expect them to be like, excuse my French, I say it to Bill, with me and Bill are visiting, but me telling that chick, fuck you, get away from me. I really would reject the woman in 1 to 5 seconds just for trying to pull that shit.
Well, unfortunately, by the time they pull it, most of the time, they've already accepted you. Because
Right.
for TFLers, the 1 to 5 seconds is the rejection. They'll never give you the time of day.
Right.
It's the woman that picks out the guy. Now the guy's been picked and he wants to be with her and she's decided, yeah. And they're in this relationship anymore. The other fault I see is people don't want to take time to get to know one another. We don't got time for that. A woman don't want to get to know you.
Right.
And this is I hear all the time. A woman don't want to get to know you. And you watch the hookup rate. People are getting together by lust. That's what they're getting together by. And now, back a few years back, we had women chasing bad boys. Well, but not
Right.
anymore. No, not anymore. Now women have decided they want that simp, that nice guy, because that guy isn't going to buck them. And if they use their private part as a weapon, the guys go, oh no, I just spent 5 years, I spent 10 years, I spent 15 years trying to get a woman in my life. No, I don't want to be alone again for that long. So what does he do? He gives up being a man. He might as well go to the hospital and get it removed and put on a dress. Maybe you could become Boy George and you
I
could be a
shouldn't laugh, but
star.
true. Yeah. Man. And see, this is where it just pisses me off, because not all women are like that. But unfortunately, the true TFLers, they really feel all women are like that because they have been so rejected and so hurt and so, well, I'm just going to say it, I feel socially engineered to believe that the vagina has power.
Yeah, and unfortunately, even normies. And I know they got
Yeah.
different labels, normies. Okay? The
Mhm.
reason they're called normies is because they have a woman. And I've literally watched this, and it just viles me and makes me want to throw up. Okay? The guy and the woman's in an argument, and the guy's basically on his knees begging for forgiveness, even if she's the one that started it.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
And it makes me sick to see that. I don't go there with nobody, and I never will. So the real reason we're talking about this is because you have no reason to complain about a woman's behavior if you're going to submit to a body part.
Right.
And that's where this comes from. It's just wrong. Okay? And you would wonder why women become so toxic, huh? You would wonder why women wield power over men and how they abuse you and how they treat you. And I've seen so many cases of women treating men absolutely awful.
Oh,
But,
me too. Yeah.
but don't get me wrong. I've also watched men treat women awful. Okay? This is what TFLers never see. They don't understand. I mean, in my life, I've witnessed both sides. And this is the reason you see me say what I say over the years. Because there are men out here abusing women. But the number's gone down from what it was 20 years ago. I would say 20 years ago it was probably 50-50. Nowadays, I don't think it's 50-50 anymore because there's so many men that are so weak minded that they've given up being a man, being a human being, to their opposite gender. And then when I look at the social engineering of society, the school system and biology, and the media, and everything that's been involved in this, I can understand and see why more and more men have gone this direction. Because
I,
women have gotten to a point where I don't want anything to do with you. 1 to 5 seconds, 1 to 5 seconds, 1 to 5 seconds. And guys spend fucking forever just trying to meet one woman. And then when they do finally get to meet a woman, they're scared shitless to stand up to her for fear of losing her.
hmm.
And this is really why you see men doing this. Because they're scared shitless of losing a woman to fear being alone for years again. And that's a very hard one for me because I understand it. It should never be that hard for a man to meet a woman.
I agree.
If you want to think about who's at fault, men and women alike for not standing up to their governments and the elite and the social engineering. You know, the excuse that women have for not wanting a dominant man is because they're afraid of being beat up and abused. I wonder
Yes.
where that came from. Oh, that's right. 30 plus years of Hollywood and your television set.
Hmm.
Don't believe me? Go watch the male bashing channel called Lifetime.
Right. No, I'll agree with you, Bill, on the Hollywood thing, the movies. This is on a woman's side, just the honest to God truth. I know you've heard of the movie, and most of you in this room have heard the movie, The Burning Bed with Farrah Fawcett.
Yeah, I do believe I've heard that, yes.
Okay, where he just beat the crap out of her and beat the crap out of her and beat the crap out of her to the point where he made her quit going to school. She was trying to hire her education to make things better. La 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 la. Anyway, well, she torched him because she just basically battered woman syndrome. Well, I used to watch that movie at a young, not a young age, but I was probably, 16, 15 or 16 when I saw it for the first time. And I remember the good old VCR tapes. I recorded it. Well, almost every other night, I just was, for some reason, I just really liked that movie. And you know what? My dad was right. He goes, you keep watching that, you're going to find somebody unintentionally that that's going to happen to you. And I'm like, oh, dad, stop. That shit like that won't happen to me. The first guy I dated, fell in love with, thought I really knew him, thought I really got to know him. We got married. And next thing I know, he's beating the living piss out of me every day. I get pregnant by the guy, well, I shouldn't say I get pregnant. We got pregnant. And I lost my baby because of these beatings. Had him 12 weeks early. He only survived 13 hours. And you know what? My dad was right. So I do believe in what you're saying. The Hollywood thing is so ingrained in these men and some women too, where you said something about they're afraid of getting abused and beaten. Well, I'm one of them. I'm a survivor.
The
Am I
other
going to sit
one,
here
yeah.
and bash? But I won't bash on him. I will not bash on him. I'll just tell you the facts and leave it at that. I'm not going to sit here and say he's a piece of poop. I'm not going to sit here and say he's a loser. You know what? I figure Judgment Day is coming, or whatever they call it, the end of time. And if there is a higher power, you know what? That's when he gets judged.
Well, I want to speak something about what Jane has just talked about because there's a lot of good statistics out there that show this. Okay? For many years, women have gotten by with abusing men as far as physically.
Right.
Okay? That went on for many, many years. A man would get hit by the woman, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody would call the man. Well, he didn't dare say his woman gave him this black eye or
Mm-hmm.
his woman broke his collarbone because all the other guys would shame him and laugh at him and mock him. Okay?
Right.
So the guy kept his mouth shut and the woman kept hitting and beating and hitting and beating. Now, this goes back to social engineering as well. What was the first thing we did to the little boy when we sent him to school? We sexually discriminated against that boy and we taught the children boys do not hit girls. Now, this has gone on as long as I've been alive. Even when Barack Obama and Joe Biden came into office, Barack Obama and Joe Biden got up there on Mother's Day and talked about all the deadbeat dads and talked about the men and openly told the public there's absolutely no excuse for anybody to put their hand on a woman. Okay? Now, I would agree with that statement if you said there was absolutely no excuse for nobody to put their hands on each other. But we never done that. We always pointed our finger at the man. Always. And nobody stands up to Hollywood for the male shaming. Even when you have men's right movement being run by a female, never once in 8 years has she ever got a group of women to picket Hollywood. So unfortunately, I don't believe a guy just comes home and beats on his woman for no reason at all. Okay? Not from what I've seen. Very seldom will that happen. What I see is the woman knows what buttons to push and gets him pissed off by running her mouth. No different than if a guy run his mouth and pissed the woman off. The only difference is neither party belong touching each other. And if you can't get along, then get out.
Right. Agreed.
I'm
And that.
not going to play favoritism here because it's not about favorites. Okay? Because it's not that the man's the favorite, the better, because I'm a guy. It's not about, oh, well, I'm going to idolize Jana because she's a female and I'm going to cover up every wrong she ever does
Right.
because she's a female. But see, this is what the normies will do. This is exactly what happens. Don't you realize that between the men and women, we're giving the elite their wants? We're destroying our society. We're keeping men and women divided. I mean, what's going to be left? Well, lots of people, what, killed from stupidity and ignorance?
Right.
The birth rate's falling, and I don't think any guy should have to go to life being alone. But I know
Right.
Dave's in this chat, and I know Dave's 39 years old and has never had a woman in his life.
Oh, that's sad. That's very sad. That's. I'm just gonna say that is crazy sad. Not crazy on Dave's part. No, 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 no. Crazy as to what the hell is wrong with these women. What the hell's wrong with these women?
It's 1 to 5 seconds, Jana.
Yeah, it is.
They didn't see a Rolls Royce outside. They didn't see a Rolex watch on the wrist.
Exactly.
Or, I'm sorry, I looked at your face.
Right. Right.
And then when you get girls' rights, what Karen Stroud coming up and saying to the public, there's going to be a significant number of men that are just not fuckable. Where did we expect this to go?
Yeah,
How do you
exactly.
think it's so bad? This is why it's so bad. And you got to give respect to Jana because she sees through the bullshit. Okay? And even at one time when she was younger, she was brainwashed like the rest of us and did stuff that was wrong, what's the most important thing? That she was actually able to see through the wrongs and correct her own behavior.
Right.
It's no different than a man. But if he can see through his wrongs and correct his behavior. See, this is why I tell people you have to self check yourself. But when I tell this to people, what do they say? There ain't nothing wrong with me. Rather than self check themselves.
Yep. I agree with you, Bill. I really do. You're making a huge amount of valid points there. You know, I've seen it from both sides, like my story, getting the crap beat out of me. Okay, it's done, it's over with. I don't hold grudges. Like I've said in chat before with you privately as well as on here, you know, about I'll just say my brother, you know, he was the opposite of me. He was the one that had the crap beat out of him, and he took it for the kids' sake, and then finally he just no, done. And he got rid of her. And she was one of those toxic women that she thought she held the cards just because she had a hoo-hoo, a vagina.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't hold the cards anymore because he took the cards away and said, I don't need this in my life. You're toxic to me and these children. Bye. And he divorced her. Best thing he could have done. And same with the second wife. They had 3 kids together. She pulled the same shit, smacking around on him. And then when he grabbed her wrist from him hitting her just to stop her from hitting him, then she called the police and said that he hurt her wrist. So it was like a domestic violence thing. And the cops showed up, not one mark on her, not one mark. And they're like, you know what? You go home, stop, you know, you're drunk, to her, go home, sleep it off.
We got to
You
guess.
go find somewhere else to go. And he went to his son's house.
Yeah. We got a commenter in here who
Okay.
wants to ask you something. They want to, okay, right here, I have a shit test question for your guest.
Mr. Perfect in every way, but his only stipulation is that he will not. See, I don't understand what he means, but his only stipulation is that he will not sign the marriage license. I don't understand. What does it mean by still go through the ceremony? I wish people would ask. I'm not the smartest cat in the book here. And I'm not picking on blondes. I'm only picking on me because I'm technically a blonde. What the hell does that mean? But would still go through the ceremony. So you'd have the whole relationship, just not marriage.
Well, I think what he's trying to ask, okay, is okay. Let me read this again. Okay, if she met Mr. Perfect in every way, but has only, stipulation with a woman, quit scrolling, okay? I mean, where's my place? Okay, I had to scroll back down because everybody typed right then, okay? Okay, the only stipulation is that he will not sign the marriage license. Would your guest still go through with the ceremony? Okay, basically the wedding. Okay, if he wasn't willing to sign the marriage certificate, would you still go through with the ceremony itself?
So in other words, would I still go through the full relationship, just no marriage?
Well, yeah, but basically I know what he's talking about. Okay, what he's talking about is when you go into a church and you get married, you and him have to sign the marriage certificate.
Right.
The pastor signs it. It becomes a third-party contract the minute the pastor signs it because he represents the government, the state. So the guy you're with refuses to sign the marriage certificate because he don't want a third party being involved. Would you still go through with the ceremony anyhow?
I probably would. I think I would. I really do.
Yeah, see, I think, and I understood what he was saying, and so I explained it to her for you because, in layman's terms, the courts represent the government, the state. The pasture represents the state. No fault divorce represents the female, not the male.
Right.
So the man
Right.
gets the
True.
shaft, not the woman.
Right. I do see Jeff Ashton. He said something. He does not want to be robbed in divorce court. Okay, Jeff, I am going to tell you this if you can hear me. Um, I went through a divorce with a gentleman, and I don't like to name names, but anyway, uh, and it was a blended marriage. I had 4 kids I brought into the marriage. He had 1. Anyway, long story short, he didn't treat my kids right. They were degenerates to him, and he didn't treat them very good at all. I'm not bashing on him, I'm just telling facts. Anyway, long story short, I just couldn't take it anymore. My kids couldn't take it anymore. So I filed for divorce, pro se. I didn't have a lawyer. I was working for um, a podiatrist who, believe it or not, his wife was a lawyer. She was a corporate lawyer, but she also knew family law. Anyway, so she kind of helped me through the steps of it, but I did the divorce by myself. Long story short, when I left him, and I my family laughed at me when they found out what went down. When I left him, we had just gotten our tax refund for that year. It was about a $13,000 tax refund, 5 children, and he made a really good wage. I was working my butt off, all the tax, deductions you can do. Anyway, of that 13,000 total between federal and state, I took 5,000 of it, packed up me and my kids' stuff, and we left. Then divorce is final, blah, blah, blah. Tell my family. They didn't know until after it was done and over with, so nobody could talk me out of it. Jeff, I took not even half of the fair share of that money. I did not take half of the equity in the house. I did not take any of his 401k or retirement plan. I didn't take anything that was not rightfully mine. So all I'm saying on my end, yes, some women want to nail these guys in divorce court and take them for everything they've got. I didn't do that because I didn't earn it. And to me, I believe if I would have taken him for half of everything he had that he worked his ass off for, to me, that's stealing. Just my opinion. And if I had it in front of me, I'd show you the paperwork. But I just took what I felt was a decent, fair share, less than fair share of that refund that year, and we left. And I got my divorce. And he was so worried about me taking him for everything or half of everything or whatever you want to call it. He didn't even show up in the courtroom that day. He didn't even show up. And the judge even asked me, "Are you sure you don't even want alimony for a few years?" I'm like, "Nope. I just want out of my marriage."
Yes.
Okay, you can't change your mind once I call this final and smack the gavel. I said, "Smack the gavel." And he did. I walked out divorced.
Hello, Mina. She said hello, so I say hello back. Let her know I see she's
There's
here.
Minnie.
Mina, yep, Minnie Rodriguez, yes. Anyhow, no. The reality is if people ever want to have a successful relationship, you have to slow down and take the time to get to know each other. I don't care if people say we don't got time in today's society. That's one of the reasons your society is so messed up. If either gender ever wields their private parts over you to control you, walk away. Okay? Matter of fact, you can do what I did. Okay? It's simple. No problem. Cut me off for a week? No problem. Couple months later, we finally have fun again. Why? Because I punished her back. She couldn't get any neither. Because that part of your body is not a weapon. It's only a weapon because weak minded men allow it. I mean, it works 2 ways. If I've said it earlier in the show, my ex literally willed that over me years ago. And she found out how it went for it. Didn't go too well. And if they say, well, most guys are so scared, and I understand it. I really do. Because it's gotten so bad that women's standards are not reachable for most men. So they
Right.
spend years trying to get one woman in their life. And this, of course, makes them so desperate that they're going to do anything that woman says. And it should never be that way. You know what? I'd rather be alone for the rest of my life, even if I was younger, than the foe to that kind of BS.
Right.
You
Yep.
wonder why, this is why I'm telling you, you wonder why women are toxic. You wonder why they're become narcissist, self-entitled, psychopathic women, because you don't put them in their place. And I'm not talking about a man beating on a woman or dominating a woman. I'm talking about respect. I'm talking about we're both human beings. I'm talking about if you're in a relationship. Have you ever heard the word compromise?
Thank you.
You should try practicing that. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and it's simple theory. No two couples will ever agree upon everything. So when you have a disagreement, well, okay, this time we disagree, we're going to do it the woman's way. But the next time there's a disagreement, we're going to do it the man's way. And we're going to rotate this back and forth. You ever hear when a man's down, the woman should be supporting him, not calling him a sissy? Just like when the woman's down, she wants the man to support her. Well, that's not a one-way street, people. If it's a one-way street, then I guess the guy should pack his bags and show you his middle finger and walk out the door. And if
Right.
it's the other way around, she should pack her bag, show you her middle finger, and walk out the door. Because I don't play into any of this stuff.
Right.
Because our society's in the shape it's in because of these very behaviors. I don't give a crap if 5 million men recognize a woman's vagina as power. Then that means we have 5 million weak minded men, is all that means. No more, no less. And for the TFLers, it's a really hard pill because they spend their whole life being rejected in 1 to 5 seconds. And it's not because, oh, they're strange, they're weird, or they got this wrong with them and that wrong with them. You know, women love to use their cop outs that, well, they had a bad personality. Oh, they have this wrong and that wrong with them. The problem is in 1 to 5 seconds and you never met them in your life and you won't even talk to them. Sorry, ladies, that don't cut it. That just means you looked at them and stereotyped them 1 to 5 seconds, don't want anything to know with them. You know, it's just, it's sad. It shouldn't be going on, but it is. So now I won't stop speaking out about this topics and other topics I talk about. I did this live stream just for the fact that I hear it all the time. That's the way our society is. The woman's vagina is power. And we all recognize it. The political system recognizes it. The mainstream media recognizes it. And all of the guys around them recognize it. That's one hell of a lot of messed up brains in it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It really is. So, you know, I only want what's right for everybody. I don't want
Yeah.
to
Me
see what
too.
I'm seeing going on. You never
Yep.
thought about the children either, did you? You're in a hurry to, here's another thing for you guys that are in a hurry to get laid, okay? And you women who are riding the Chad, okay, going from guy to guy to guy. Well, I sure hope you liked your extra package that you get one day called VD, herpes. If you want me to go on, you know what I'm talking about. This is what happens when you get in a hurry because you don't even know the person. How do you know they're not carrying something? You don't.
This is true. You have no clue what. Oh my God, you have no idea what anyone's carrying anymore in this day and age, guy or girl or both.
Yeah, exactly.
I know one person, uh, again nameless, very near and dear to my heart, that has had I don't know how many bouts with chlamydia, a bout with gonorrhea, also has HSV2. For those of you that don't know, HSV2 is herpes simplex virus 2. That's usually your genitalia herpes, not the little herpes virus like along, mouth sores. This is the genitalia that's further into the body. And I don't know how many other sexually transmitted diseases she has. And of course, the HSV2 virus is not curable. It is not curable.
No.
And I know somebody that actually, believe it or not, it's usually not fatal. Maybe we can talk about that on another day, or just me and you privately, Bill. But I know someone extremely dear to me who I miss with all my heart that died because of the HSV2 virus.
Yes.
So
Unfortunately,
you don't know. You
that's
just don't
just
know when you're
it. You
sleeping
don't.
around. Just don't know. You can ask the question. Yeah, are you carrying anything? Anybody can tell a lie. Hello? Anyone
Yeah.
can tell a lie. The woman can, the guy can, they both can.
In
And
today's
you're spreading
society,
this shit around.
yeah. In today's society, you see both genders lying to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And it's freaking annoying because I look at the reality. The reality is you don't know what you're doing. That's just it. It takes time. You have to meet somebody. And for TFLers, I hate to say it takes time for a TFLer because they had nothing but time to be rejected over
Right.
and over and over and over and over again. And then when they got angry and depressed, you blamed it back onto them. But yet they grew up in the same road you did. They went and did everything every other guy did. They copied
Yep.
every other guy, didn't work. They went and self improved themselves, didn't work. They had a job, they had everything, didn't work. They went and bought pickup artist industries complete hogwash, didn't work. This is why you have people like Dave, 39 years old, still never had a woman in his life. Still TFL. This is why George Sedini happened. This is why TFL went all over the world. And I know people in so many different countries that are living TFL, and not through no fault of their own. That's what makes it even sadder. And then nobody cares. Nobody has no care. They don't care. The only thing they want to do is troll you, call you names, blame you. They want to assume for you, because after all, they know you. They never seen you in your life. It's the first time they ever watched your video on YouTube, but they know everything about you.
Right. Yeah. They just like my very first time I was on live with you, they all thought they knew me.
Oh yeah, they did.
And that's strong skin, that's okay. It's okay. And I think I've gotten through to a couple of the TFLers, just that I'm not such a bad person.
Well, Dave's
Just
49.
because I'm a woman.
Okay, thanks, Dave, for correcting me. He turned 49 since he was 48, so now he's 49 still.
But I can be 39 today. LOL, that's cute. Hey, Dave, you know what? I turned 49 in April, so happy birthday. Late. I'm close to his age. I'll be 49 this April. Can you believe that? Oh, Melanta.
Time goes fast, doesn't it?
It sure does.
And
but
as you
know
get,
what?
and
I
as you get older, it goes faster. The older you get, the faster it goes.
Yep. Every year I keep thinking, oh, here's my birthday. It's only a couple months away now, about 2.5 months. And it hits, and then boom, before I know it, it's October. And I'm like, okay, where'd that go?
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. It does, but
Time flies by. The older you get, the faster it goes. But I don't give up on trying to help guys. And I'm not, you know, I'm not trying to male bash. I'm not trying to female bash. But the reality is simple. Don't let nobody use their body part as a weapon against you. If they do, show them what it's about and cut them off. And if you're afraid you're going to lose them, you're better off to lose them. Even if you spent 10 or 15 years finding a woman, you would still be more of a man to throw them on their ass than to listen.
right.
Because that's very toxic, it's very evil, and it will only lead to a life of living hell for you.
Yeah.
Because power and greed have no end. And this is corruption. And when people wield power over other people, and it's not a gender issue, when people wield power over other people, their mind goes absolutely corrupt and they start expecting completely ridiculous crap. And this is the reality. And if you got a high ego, lose it. That's the same thing as power and greed. You become corrupt. I think one of the biggest, I was telling Harry this, and I told the same thing I do believe to Steve Hoka today. You know what true success is? How many of you in here know what true success is? I'll bet you don't. I'll ask Jana, what do you think true success is?
True success.
Yep.
Oh, I may not know. I feel, I'll just tell you what I feel. I think true success is, well, of course, doing your best to follow the golden rule, as well as just all in all, just being a good person, uh, really, even in the dating scene, I'm going to bring that up, getting to know someone and stop judging. Don't judge people just by the first thing you see. Where I work, they might roll up in the biggest clunker of a vehicle. We have one guy where I work that he drives up in the crappiest pickups, but you know what? He's got more money than God. And do I judge him? Either way, and he's got kind of like my hair, if you can see it right now, it's kind of obviously freshly washed and frizzy. I have natural frizz, but he's got kind of collar length or so hair, and it's thin but frizzy, and he's the sweetest guy I've ever met in my life. Just a sweetheart. I mean, he's married, but he is just the sweetest thing. But he drives up in this old Dodge pickup that's rattling and that's loud and da da da. Did I judge him? No.
No. Okay.
I waited until I got to know him.
Now
But,
I'll answer your question now. Okay. I think you gave a lot of good answers. I really do.
Okay.
But true success is happiness. Happiness
okay.
can never be bought with money. Happiness will never become through materialistic items. And happiness in a relationship can only be found when you took the time to get to know each other and become friends that led to best friends, that led to love. And then you take the time to listen to each other's feelings. You respect each other's feelings. You don't try to change them. It's not about changing one another. It's about loving each other for who each other is. A couple who follow these guidelines could be flat, broken, homeless, and still find themselves happily together.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. It's now that you God, it feels blonde. Me only, just me. Yeah. They say true success is in happiness in your everyday life.
It is. That is true
success.
It's
like an old fashioned meme, but not a meme. It's an old fashioned, whatever they used to call it. Like, I can't remember the name of the word, but they used to call it something, not a meme, what we call it today, the funny stuff, but like the opposite fact of a meme. I can't think of the name of it, but yeah,
Yeah.
you'll find true success and happiness.
Well, it is. And happiness is your true success. Okay. That is true success. Okay. I don't care what anybody tells me, it really is. Because happiness don't lead to stress. Stress leads to health problems. Happiness don't lead to anger. Okay? Happiness can't be bought. Happiness is not made through materialistic items or fame. Happiness comes from knowing what you're doing in society and being very careful about who you're with. And if somebody's toxic, you get rid of them right away. You don't deal with
Right.
them.
Right. Like we talked about in private, didn't we, Bill?
Yes. You just don't deal with people who are hot-headed and toxic. Don't matter what the gender is. Okay? You don't deal with drama day in and day out. You end it.
Right.
Because the only way to pass the happiness is through making sure the people you're around are good people. We have
That's
lots and
right.
lots of toxic people in today's society. And I don't know any other way to tell you, but I did want to get up here with Jana tonight. I know she works again tomorrow. So I'll let her decide when she wants to cut it.
Thank you. I've got time yet. There, we still have time. Excuse me, burp.
So,
Yeah. Okay. Really fast here, Bill. Jeff Jefferson is asking, who is Bill talking about? Steve. You know what? I figured Steve would stop in tonight. I really did. Or yeah, Steve Hoka.
oh, I'm sure he's listening.
Okay.
But
And if
whatever
he is,
reason he
hi,
might be,
Steve.
I'm sure he's listening. Just he probably don't feel really like dropping into the chat. So,
And that's okay. That's perfectly okay. There's been times I've been real quiet through the chat, just listening in, and I think the last Saturday night live that you did, I know you had said something, but I don't know if I know she's still here, or you had told me. I knew you were there, but I didn't hear much from you. I just kind of just stayed quiet. There's some nights I'll be going to town like the chatters are now, but then there's other nights that I just kind of watch and listen and watch at the same time. And it's best if I don't say anything, because I try my very best not to say things I'll regret. And not that it's a bad or good thing. I don't always use my words correctly, and I don't want to have to keep repeating myself because I am a little on the ditzy side. And do you see what I'm saying? I hate saying that, and it's like a habit for me. So if he's here, hi, Steve, and I hope he's doing well.
yeah, I'm sure he is. I just, I get frustrated with this type of stuff and I see it going on a regular basis. And for the men
Right.
out there, stop thinking with your head with no brains.
Right.
Okay? Stop thinking with that head. It's not all about that. I know you want that. I'm sure everybody wants that. But that has to be put back in its rightful spot. You don't get that until after you get to know them.
Right.
And if the woman isn't refusing to allow that to happen before she wants it, then treat her the same way you would a guy. Walk away. Segregate yourselves, guys, at the opposite side of the bar. And if she approaches you, reject her. Because you know she wants in your pants, right? Now I know I sounded ridiculous. But then this is what the world we're living in is, isn't it? It's
It's
completely
true.
ridiculous.
Yep. And
You
now
know?
that's just kind of, yeah, I agree. Like I said before, some chick a toxic chick rolls up and thinks she's going to get what the man has down below. You know what? Reject her. 1 to 5 seconds, reject her. That's not what you want.
No, you don't. And he's a whole
No.
right, there's my chance. and then a freaking week later you're itching down there and itching down there and burning down there, and you go to the
Right.
doctor and
And then she
find
wants
out
to
you
be
got,
friends.
yep, and then you go to the doctor and found out she had a little surprise for you, huh?
Uh-huh. Right. And a lot of them surprises are not curable. Don't risk your health that way. It's not worth it.
No, learn what you're supposed to be doing and how to treat one another. I mean, that's the biggest thing. Get rid of game. I mean, you hear the media talk about it all the time. You got to have game.
Hmm.
You got to have game. You know what game is? Manipulation and lies.
Right. Have a real game and be truthful and honest and open and loving and compassionate and not tell lies.
That's
That's what your
right.
game should be.
There's
Men
that.
and women both.
Yep. Then there's that and the looks issue. So many guys get caught up in the looks issue, and so do women. But when you get caught up in the looks issue, you're going to wind up going by everything that's nothing, and it's nothing but usury. And I'll tell you what, I don't want a relationship that's nothing but usury. You know,
Right.
people know how to say the words that the other one wants to hear. And they use
Right.
these words to lower people in. And then as soon as they get their want, they dump them right on their ass.
Right. I see a comment in here. No one wants a fat woman. It's like driving an effing bus. Don't ask me how I know. Really? That's really kind of and not gonna say dislike the guy, but that's not really something nice to say.
No, Bill's not using the word usury wrong. If your true intentions is you think a guy's a utility, or you think the woman owes you to cook your meals and do this and do that for you, she don't owe you that. No guy owes you anything, neither, woman. Okay, nobody owes neither party nothing. Gender roles says that the guy's the provider. And I'm sorry, ladies, but in today's society, with as many women in the workplace and as many women are actually out earning men, no, the guy's not a provider. Not at all. Go take care of yourself. It depends on how you catch this. Look at this, Jana. He's rewording the usury,
Mm-hmm.
okay, to change it to something we're not talking about.
Exactly.
Okay, you can reword it to whatever you want. Maybe your brains are a little off. Maybe it's just not computing in your head. Because everybody else in here knows what we're talking about. So I don't know. Maybe you speak foreign language and you don't understand English.
Right. Most cases. And I seem to, and I pretty much, I like this guy, but I've never seen him talk like this before. In most cases, being fat is a choice. I feel it is fair to not want someone unhealthy. Okay, that's fair. He would prefer someone that at least is healthy. Um, but I don't know about being fat. Being fat is a choice. I guess I don't know how to respond to that one.
Well, I would look at it this way. Some people have a
No,
whole
I'm
lot
not
of
mad at Jeff.
no. Some people have a whole lot of trouble taking weight off. Some people are just lazy slobs. Okay,
Yeah, yes,
so I guess it would depend. Okay, I can understand what they're saying about it though, because you got a lot of morbidly obese men and women alike in today's society.
right.
So
And
go ahead.
one thing some people, and I'm talking men and women both, some people don't realize this. Okay, if anyone's a doctor in here or nurse, that'd be great because they'll hopefully they'll back me up. I personally know for a fact because I'm on a pill for it. Most people think your brain is your mainframe. Your brain is not your mainframe. What's your mainframe is your thyroid. Your thyroid controls everything. Your lymphatic system, your hormones, your weight, everything. Your thyroid is your mainframe to your body. And so I'm on a thyroid pill because I'm hypothyroid, which means I have an underactive thyroid. So I have to take a pill to keep it regulated. Then there's people who have hyperthyroid because theirs is overactive. Well, some women and men don't realize that they have a thyroid problem because maybe they're like me and don't like to go to the doctor, which I have to admit. I go usually once a year for my little blood draw for my thyroid, that's it. They don't realize they have a thyroid problem, so they're really feeling crappy. Then they finally go to the doctor and, oh, no wonder you're overweight because your thyroid isn't working right. Your thyroid even controls your metabolism. So some women, and this is on the nice side to the, Jeff that had said that, maybe that's one thing he doesn't realize. Now, I do agree a little bit, contradicting myself a little bit. There are some people out there, men and women both, they're just lazy. Just lazy. They just rather not do anything for themselves. And they sit and eat comfort foods that aren't healthy. And they do gain the weight. Well, I'm not ashamed. I have been diagnosed with PTSD and anxiety disorder, panic disorder, and manic depression. And I'm on 2 pills. And one of the side effects of the one pill is weight gain. Guess what? Since I've been on that pill, I've gained 20 pounds no matter how much exercise I do, no matter what I eat, what I don't eat. I've packed on 20, 25 pounds. So I'm a chunk monk. But I admit it. I'm not lazy, but yet I see what he's saying. But yet on the other hand, I just want him to understand that sometimes it can be a physical problem that these people are unaware of as to why they're overweight.
Yeah,
Sorry
Dave.
for rambling, but it is the truth.
Dave typed something out there. Conquest to take weight off. Cut out the bread, pasta, rice, and sugar.
You know what really is the best diet to lose weight? And I've heard of that too. I know we're going off track here from the whole meaning of this video, but for about 6 weeks, and they say that's not safe for you. Well, I have an ending to the beginning of my story. I went completely vegan for 6 weeks. In 6 weeks, I lost 15 pounds. You don't eat anything that coulda, shoulda, woulda had a face. Okay. Eggs could have had a face because they turn into little chicks, those cute little baby chicks. Things like you just don't eat anything that is anything animal based. Nothing goes in your body. And I lost 15 pounds and I felt good. And people are like, but you need red meat in your diet to stay healthy. There are alternatives to red meat. There's alternatives to, yes, I love bacon just as much as the next person. There's alternatives to that. Now, the only spot where then I felt really bad because I wasn't fully vegan. I'm honest. I'm always trying to be honest. Well, I do like my Miller Lite. That's not vegan. So I found that out about 3 weeks in. So I had to switch over to something like Rolling Rock is vegan, Rolling Rock beer. So I had to switch over to, was going to have to switch over to that. And I'm like, well, okay, I only have, normally during the week a beer here and there through the week. The weekends I don't give a crap because I'm at home. And I lost this weight and I'm like, God, I feel really good. I felt energized, and da-da-da. So then, and the reason I did that was because I watched this show on Netflix. It's called What the Health? Like what the hell, but what the health? And it's right on there. It was telling you, one of the biggest things for one example, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Okay. Who's the biggest one you hear about breast cancer awareness? Susan G. Komen, right? Her whole thing, you know, with breast cancer and, you know, make it be aware and fight for your life and, you know, beat cancer's ass. You know, I'm all for that. Well, she puts her name on Yoplait yogurt. And dairy products have been proven to cause breast cancer. And here she has her name all over Yoplait yogurt.
Well, you know, there is something I want to say about breast cancer because it is strictly promoted for women when it comes to government assistance for help with breast cancer. Yes, sirree, the women can get medical coverage from the government, other things to help them with breast cancer. But what people don't realize is men also get breast cancer. And when a man gets breast cancer, there is no government assistance or help for him with breast cancer. And it's just as deadly
Right.
for him as it is a woman. But
Yes, it is.
he has to pay his own bill where the
Now that's
woman
wrong.
gets help.
Yeah, see, to me, that's bullshit. It shouldn't be gender based. None of that should be gender based. Just, I mean, a little example like that. You know, when my husband had, you know, his kidney failed, so he got to go, you know, Social Security Administration or Social Security, they, whatever that's called, kind of like Social Security income. He was able to be put on that until he got his kidney, and then up to 3 years after that, they pay him a certain amount to help him keep the kidney healthy, however that works. God, it's been 3 years ago now, so it's hard for me to remember it really, really well. But yeah, you get supplemental income if you need a kidney transplant, all the way up until your transplant, and then I think maybe it's up to transplant. I can't remember, but he got Social Security income due to, you know, needing a transplant. Now, I don't know. I mean, it's the same for men and women, but breast cancer through the government helping just women, bullshit. That's wrong. If men can get breast cancer just as easily as women.
Okay. Well, Minnie Rodriguez asked if I'm sure. Yes, I'm positive. Breast cancer was rolled into the insurance laws differently for women and men. Just like the Violence Against Women's Act. It was wrote into the law that a man cannot be the victim of domestic abuse. If you look for domestic abuse shelters in the United States for women, you will find one hell of a lot of them. And now
Oh yes, but
now go look for men for domestic abuse shelters and find what you find. It'll be a big eye opener for you.
Right.
The last time I actually looked, there was only 2 of them in the United States for men.
Yep, and I agree, or I shouldn't say I agree. I don't think that's right either. I remember I told the last time I was live what I had seen on Lifetime. Yes, the woman channel for women, but this one I will give credit to. This guy was getting. I think I remember. I'm repeating myself from that last live feed. He was getting the crap knocked out of him. I mean, she shoved him through a glass plate window door thing, and she just beat the crap out of her husband day in, day out, and he found a phone number for a shelter, and they hung the phone up on him, and it was based on a true story. And so finally they did pass a law that domestic violence just doesn't go where guys beat on women. No, it's where women beat on guys.
Yes.
That's crazy. They need to have more men's shelters like that. I absolutely say that. Absolutely. Yes. There needs to be many, many more.
Well, the main reason you see this stuff happen is because the powers to be at the top, call them whoever you want. Call them the Illuminati, call them the bankers, okay? Call them aliens, call them whatever you want. The powers to be control your governments worldwide, okay? And
Right,
the
right,
powers to be are the ones that tell the governments what to do. The war between the men and women was socially engineered by these people. And the man is the primary target. And I know I've said this a lot of times, but it is true. The man is the primary victim, the woman is the secondary victim. Both genders are victims. The reason the man is the primary is to cause the conflict for men to hate women. Okay? Because of what men go through and what women go through, men can easily look at the woman and say, man, she's pampered, she's spoiled. Look at all the rights she has. And they complain, well, feminists was fighting for women's rights because the men took them. No, the government took them because the government does not represent the body of men alive. Just like with feminism, we went and said that, well, women did not have a right to vote. But guess what? Neither did men. Only the wealthy landowners could vote, which was the rich.
right.
Okay? And that is the God's honest truth. We've all been lied to our whole lives. They've engineered us against each other. And we play into it and we keep fighting one another. And then it's just gone downhill. It's gotten worse and worse and worse, you know. And pornography's pushed everywhere. Everybody's got their mind stuck in one spot that they need to get that mind taken out of that spot completely because it's destroying us. It really is. You got to get your priorities put back together and you got to start caring about other people as much as you care about yourselves. Because until you can care about other people as much as you care about yourself, we can never correct the problems that's going on. It's just not possible to correct the problems that are going on as long as we do not want to care about other people as much as we care about ourselves. The old model for years now, I mean for years, has been look out for number one. Who's number one? Yourself. That's who number one is. Well, we have to get out of that mentality. How about looking out for each other? How about stop discriminating against somebody because of what the color of their skin is? Okay? Or where they come from? Or how short they are? How about stop discriminating against each other? How about stopping the human suffering that we've all turned into entertainment? Entertainment, watching somebody get the crap beat out of them. Entertainment, laughing at a guy who got his penis cut off. That type of shit right there. And the constantly fighting one another. Gender roles need to disappear. Completely disappear, banish them. I would say, yes, we need to take the power away from women, but no, not to give it back to the men, but to throw it in the landfill where it belongs. Because neither gender belongs having power over the other.
I agree.
And then when it comes to, well, who's the head of your household? Oh, who wears the pants in your family? Well, nobody. We run around naked.
Or we, yeah, or we share the same pants. There you go.
Yeah, because you can't have a boss. Nobody
No.
controls the family. You know who controls the family? The mom and the dad.
Yep. Yep.
Through
Exactly.
compromise.
50-50.
Exactly. Learning what the hell you're doing.
Hmm.
That's just, I mean, I can't say nothing else. Until people can do this, the problems will continue.
Yep. It's true. That's very true.
So, I think we'll end the live stream now. You can stay on here if you want a few more minutes here, Jana.
Okay.
On Zoom, that is.
Sure.
And we'll go ahead and end the live stream now because I think I've said all I need to say for tonight. I'll be back up here Saturday Night Live, as I am every Saturday, for the people
Yay.
who want to be here. And
Me.
just remember this as I go out. I named the video Pussy Power versus Penis Power for a reason. Okay? No woman's vagina has power over you guys. If
That's
she
right.
wields it as power, deny
Drop her.
her.
Deny
Drop
her.
her. If you're
One
already,
second.
if you're
One
already
second.
married, if you're already together, and she wields it as power, then do as I do. Cut her off.
Yep.
That's
I
right.
agree.
She only thinks she cut you off. I'll bet you she'll be surprised when 2 months later she hasn't had any. Then she'll realize that that is not power. And for any man who calls that power, I'm sorry, you're not a man. Wake the hell up.
Yep.
And I don't care what the numbers are. But I'm out of here. See you Saturday night.
Yep. See ya.